Tani Birahima Ouattara and the Land Mafia of the Ouattara regime. Côte d'Ivoire, once a land of hope and opportunity, is now in the grip of a sprawling land mafia orchestrated by Tani Birahima Ouattara, the younger brother of Alassane Ouattara. As the true godfather of this criminal system, he dispossesses thousands of Ivorians of their lands, with the complicity of public institutions riddled with corruption. I, Chris Yapi, have conducted a rigorous 10-month investigation into this system of dispossession, infiltrating networks, and gathering irrefutable evidence. Today, I unveil one of the greatest scandals of the Ouattara era, the institutionalized theft of urban land. Over 10 months, I explored the mafia-like practices within the ministries of construction, economy, and justice, all infiltrated by Tani Birahima Ouattara's henchman, also known as the Vile, the Minister of Defense, and mastermind behind these land seizures. The modus operandi is relentless. Regime agents identify vacant plots, properties belonging to orphans or the elderly. Once a target is identified, fake land titles are issued with impunity, with the complicity of cadastral services. Then comes the fatal blow. A hastily and often secretly rendered court decision orders the expulsion of legitimate owners. By the time victims discover the scam, it's too late. Their property is seized, destroyed, and new occupants, always close to those in power, erect luxury buildings on the ruins. These crimes are not the work of petty crooks but powerful networks directly linked to the regime. At the top of this mafia pyramid sits Tani Birahima Ouattara, who uses his position as Minister of Defense to cover operations and suppress any dissent. The law enforcement he controls no longer protects the people, they have become the armed wing of these organized thefts, readily evicting entire families from their own homes. Trials, when they occur, drag on for years, sometimes decades. But the scenario is always the same. Families are crushed by a complicit justice system, drowned in endless procedures, drained of their strength and savings. While they sleep outside, the looters, often from a well-known certain nationality, live in opulence. This mafia doesn't thrive by chance. It is tolerated, encouraged, and protected by Alassane Ouattara's regime. The ties between certain high-ranking officials and the beneficiaries of these thefts are notorious. Everything is well-oiled, from identifying vulnerable plots, orphans, the elderly, absentees, to fabricating fake land titles. An influenced judiciary then legitimizes these thefts, before the lands are resold to foreign investors close to those in power. While the Ivorian people struggle to survive, a predatory elite, endorsed by Tani Birahima Ouattara, amasses limitless wealth. This is no longer a sovereign state but a private exploitation zone controlled by a mafia clan. The victims are left to fend for themselves, without hope for justice. They face a wall, corrupt judges, unscrupulous lawyers, brutal law enforcement. Under the Ouattara regime, Ivorian justice has become an instrument of predation. Judgments are rendered in secrecy, corrupt lawyers employ delaying tactics to exhaust victims, while law enforcement evicts families from their own homes. Let's be clear, land is not just property. It is a root, an identity, a heritage passed down through generations. By facilitating these dispossessions, Alassane Ouattara and his brother, Tani Birahima, steal more than a possession, they strip families of their dignity in future. But what remains of Côte d'Ivoire if the very land of Ivorians is sold to the highest bidder? Is it still a nation or merely prey offered to a handful of predators? The Ivorian people must rise. Victims must testify. International institutions must hear these cries. Impunity must no longer be the norm. It's time for those who plunder Côte d'Ivoire to be held accountable. Tani Birahima Ouattara, Alassane Ouattara, you will have to answer for your crimes. Côte d'Ivoire belongs to its sons and daughters. Not to a family mafia. History teaches us lessons that human beings too often refuse to learn. And among the most stubborn are tyrants. Blinded by their own power, they see themselves as invincible and omnipotent. Alassane Ouattara is no exception. He, too, imagines himself on a divine mission, to rule Côte d'Ivoire for life. But he is gravely mistaken. I'm telling you, 2025 will be the final stop for the dictator Ouattara. He can continue deceiving his supporters, making them believe that Macron supports him, and that the French army is ready to massacre Ivorians to keep him in power. But all of that will be in vain. The countdown has begun. Soon, cracks will appear in his system. Some of his loyal lieutenants will be the first to fall. Then, it will be his turn. He will fall, to his greatest shock. 2025, I repeat, will mark the end of the octogenarian super liar. So be it.
Hello President Adu. Since 2009, I bought my land and built 2 studios on it. Today, I no longer work. Before, I sold fish at the market. I smoked fish and sold it. I put aside 100 francs, 200, 300, 500 francs until I saved 1,500,000 CFA francs, and thanks to that, I bought my land in Ndotri. I built 2 studios in 2009 and in 2020, there is a certain Sharif Karamoko who claims that my land belongs to him and that he is the brother of Kandia Kamara. He called the police and the gendarmes to tell me that as long as I do not have the land documents, I do not have the right to build on my land. I went to court and I won my case. Yet, he sends thugs to beat me up when I won in court. Kandia Kamara, if she is a mother like me, let her come and see me. I am his mother. He comes to beat me up every day. He sends thugs on motorbikes when I won in court. He summoned me to court himself and I won again. He always sends thugs to come and beat me up. They beat my children all the time. He sends police to tell me that I cannot build my house and I have to send land documents. He is always on my back. The authorities embezzle people's money and then others come to tire us out. Come and see what I am like and someone will come and beat me and my children. I have no sons. I only have daughters. They beat us. Sharif wants to take away my land. I did not go to school, but I fought. I sold fish, I smoked fish that I sold. Today I am not healthy, I am sick. He says he is the chief, he is the brother of Kandia Kamara, Sharif, Karamoko. He says the land belongs to him. Come see me. I am not a person born yesterday. I am old. For my future, I paid for land for my grandchildren and me. I built so that I could sleep there with my grandchildren. Kandia Kamara, Sharif Karamoko, does not want to leave me alone. Every day, he hires thugs on motorbikes, who come to beat me. Ivorians, come to the aid of an old person who is 80 years old. Come. Every day he sends thugs to beat us. Come see me. The judgment says that he will have to pay 300,000 CFA francs if he sets foot on my land. But he says he doesn't care and that he has high-ranking figures who support him. I have no one. Here is my judgment, that's what must tell the truth. He says he has his judgment, so do I. I have everything I need. I won my case. He sued me, I won again. So I won twice, but he says he doesn't care. He is the leader of Ndotri, and he does what he wants. He sends thugs to massacre us at any time. We are tired. Authorities, get up, come and help us. We have no one. We only have you. Come to our aid, we beg you.
Chris Yapi does not lie. Find Chris Yapi on his 2 YouTube channels, his Rumble channel, his TikTok, X, Instagram, VK and Threads accounts.